Hey, what's up, guys? Jordan Schumacher here. So I was at TNC. It was a couple weeks ago now, and one of the keynote talks given by Ryan Dice was basically he used the phrase that conversations are now the new leads. And when I heard that phrase, I was pissed initially, not because it's not true, but because I hadn't thought of it first. Like it's just such a catchy phrase. But he said that conversations are the new leads, and as I was sort of thinking on the things and results that I've been seeing for clients for my own marketing efforts. So I do a very obsessive and thorough job of tracking email open rates week over week. And so for most digital businesses, whether you're a SaaS company, an education company, an agency, for most digital businesses, your email list and your email communications are absolutely the lifeblood of your business. Like if your emails aren't getting opened, if your customers aren't even seeing your emails, then like frankly you're losing. Your customers don't know what to do. They're not interacting with you, and so you're just like leaving massive amounts of money on the table. And so it's incredibly important as a digital business that your emails are getting seen by your customers, or at least that you're interacting with them in some way, that they're seeing your message. And what we've been seeing happening over the last 6 months really, but really every single week it gets worse, is we see email open rates dropping. And ultimately what this means, we've done a lot of split testing, we've been looking into the numbers, and ultimately what we've found is happening is that more and more of our marketing emails are going into the promo tab in Gmail, and ultimately other people in our industry are seeing the same thing happen. And this is an industry-wide phenomena. This isn't something that's just localized to the list that I manage. And so what I think is happening is Gmail is really cracking down on promotional emails, and just like really cracking down on email broadcasts and putting them in the promo tab, making that more difficult. And I think what will likely happen down the road is I know that Gmail's got some things in the works around, like, essentially you can, as a business, you can send out an email that's basically dynamic, like a web page, but all inside the email. And I think what's ultimately going to happen is Gmail's really going to beef up their email ad product, and make emails pay to play, just like Facebook has made business posts pay to play. If you don't pay, no one's going to see your business post. In Gmail, if you don't pay, no one's going to see your business email, your marketing emails. That's the word I'm looking for, which is a masterful move. Facebook and Google have sort of been in a battle, going head to head for like who's top dog from an ad product perspective and from a digital ad spend perspective. Facebook's been winning that simply because Facebook has the distribution. Facebook has access to virtually everyone, certainly everyone of buying age. Like, everyone has a Facebook account, and you can just get at scale in Facebook for various reasons that we don't need to get into on this video. Facebook has a superior ad product, but if Google is able to actually monetize efficiently Gmail, that's going to be huge for Google. Like, kind of sucks if you're a business, but I mean, even if you're a business, if basically you're only paying if someone actually opens your email, that's going to be huge. Like, I would happily pay for someone to open my emails. I would happily pay on a cost per email open basis 100% of the time. So that's really exciting, and I have no proof to substantiate any of that, but I have a sneaking suspicion Google's going to do something to move in that direction, because they need to do something to catch up to Facebook. So that was a tangent. Moving back to conversations are the new lead, though. As we see email open rates continue to drop, as we see people continue to just be deluged in content, like right now and over the last 3 to 5 years, we've been going through what I would consider to be like an automation bubble. And so if you go to any SaaS review site, like GetApps, I think is one, Capterra is another one. Like, there's just, and you go to the marketing automation section, there's just a ridiculous number of marketing automation and marketing SaaS products that are targeted to small and medium businesses. And it's never been easier to automate communication, or at least automate words and the delivery of words to prospects. And so as a result, because most people are inherently lazy, and really automation is just a good thing in general. People have automated every single aspect of their business. But what's happened is people have sort of forgotten that, hey, this 10,000 person email list that I'm just sending this mass broadcast out to is actually comprised of 10,000 individual people with unique, wants, needs, desires, etc. It's like literally 10,000 individuals. Like as marketers, it's incredibly easy to be like, okay, cool, I'm just going to send this blast to 15,000 people and expect, a 2% click rate. So we're looking at, I don't even know what that is, 300 people actually click through. Like, that's just insane. Like, you're sending an email to 15,000 people and only 300 of them actually like interact with that. Like, that means that there's something wrong. And what that means is we've over automated so many things as marketers, as business owners, that people have just started, the consumers and the market have sort of just started to tune out a lot of those automations, and just because they're not relevant to them, right? And so, like I've said this before, but digital marketing and getting distribution online right now is A, pay to play, and B, it's a market for attention, right? So you're not just competing with your competitors, you're competing with BuzzFeed, you're competing with cat videos, you're competing with Taylor Swift music videos. Like, you're competing with literally everything else online that's trying to get the attention of your target market. And so, like any market, like the stock market, anytime there's a bubble, and like I said, we're going through an automation bubble, there's always, by definition, a correction to that bubble. And so I think that what we're starting to see is not only are we seeing sort of the aggregators like Google and Facebook really crack down on automation and make things more pay to play and really penalize businesses that aren't doing a good job of speaking directly to customers, but the actual market is going through a correction where the market is just tuning out standard, 10,000 plus member email blasts that have no real segmentation or no real context into the position that the customer is actually in. And like, honestly, getting a Facebook lead anymore, or not a Facebook lead, excuse me, getting an email lead anymore, and just like a generic email lead is not super valuable. What's valuable is getting an engaged lead. And the way to keep an engaged lead is not to just send out spam and generic email blasts. The way to keep a lead engaged and to keep someone engaged is to speak to them directly and to have conversations with them. And so what that looks like is, yes, use all of your automation, use your email automation and everything else to segment people and to make sure that you're delivering them content that they are actually interested in. But what needs to start happening, and where I've been seeing the most success in my campaigns, is actually using automation not to replace one-on-one conversations, but to enable one-on-one conversations at scale. And so what that means is, like, if we just take a step back here and just look at human psychology, when was the last time you picked up a phone to call customer support and you got the robot that asks you a million questions and you have to answer? When was the last time you were happy that happened, that you got to talk to a robot? And yes, maybe the robot had the information that you wanted. Maybe you were looking for like hours or store specials or customer support or something like that. The robot probably had that information, but extracting the information from the robot was probably not a super enjoyable process for you. Like, if you're anything like me, if in the rare occasion you have to pick up the phone to call a company, you want to talk to a person like immediately. And obviously, again, we're in this automation bubble. Most companies have that automated to some extent to try and remove the one-on-one human interaction as much as possible. And that's just a terrible user experience, pisses off everyone, pisses off me anyways. It's just a terrible user experience. It's the same thing for digital marketing, right? Like, we've tried to leverage ourselves to such an extent, and again, it's because a lot of us are small, like one-man, small team operations, so to some extent we have to, but we've tried to leverage ourselves to such a great extent that we've just removed the human conversation element from our interactions. And so really, any sort of one-on-one human meaningful conversation or interaction just leaves a massive positive impact in the minds of our prospects and is a massive boost for conversions. And so what I've started doing is actually, instead of trying to use automation to replace one-on-one interaction. And, a lot of people are like, oh, one-on-one interaction, it doesn't scale. Well, no, it doesn't scale if you're trying to do it manually. But if you use automation to leverage that, it scales very, very well. And yes, it takes more effort. It's work, God forbid, but the results have been phenomenal. And so if you use automation to enable one-on-one conversations at scale, you're going to see massive results. And so, for example, instead of driving traffic to a sales page, drive traffic to a call to action to apply to get on the phone. Actually talk to them and sell them on the phone. Figure out what they need and sell them a product on the phone. If you're selling e-commerce products or whatever the case may be, instead of just trying to get people to subscribe to your Messenger ManyChat automations and just sending them generic broadcasts, which is going to be the quickest way to ruin Facebook Messenger automation, and it's going to be the quickest way to get people to tune you out. Just say, hey, how can I help you? You send out a broadcast to initiate a conversation, and then have a conversation at scale in Messenger. And for the people it makes sense to, hop on the phone with them. Like, instead of just trying to use the automation tools that we have to completely replace human interaction, instead use that to open up conversations and have these one-on-one conversations with a lot of different people, engage with them. And what you're going to see is that your conversion rates are going to improve. And this is across the board. It doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's a SaaS product, whether it's an educational product, whether it's a service. Engage with them. Ask them what they need. If you can help them, sell them on your solution. Otherwise, just engage with them and point them in the right direction. And what you're going to find is that when you do this, your engagement with that prospect over the life of their journey with you, over the lifetime of their customer journey, is going to be so much higher than any other, cohort of people that you just continue sending, your 2 to 5 email blasts every day to. It's going to be a night and day difference for your business. I've been seeing the same thing in my own business, and I've been implementing a few different things, right? I've been implementing applications to phone calls. I've been implementing, Messenger broadcasts to initiate conversations. I've been, using my emails. A big part of my email is driving people into my Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not a member of my Facebook group, it's free. It's fantastic. Click the link down below to join. And in my Facebook group, I'm able to have conversations with people at scale. And so really leveraging automation to drive actual human interaction, which then leads to a conversion down the road, has been paying massive dividends for my business, for my clients' businesses, and for the people that I've been seeing and following in this space. The people who are doing this are just seeing massive results. Drift, which is a sort of a website pop-up chatbot company, this is their entire business model, which is basically enabling businesses to implement conversations at scale. And they are a massive SaaS product business that is launched purely based on this thesis that, hey, email marketing sucks. No one enjoys getting email broadcasts. Let's try something different. Let's enable one-on-one conversations at scale. And so in my opinion, especially as Google becomes more and more, cracks down harder and harder on promotional emails, as things become more pay to play, in my opinion, the businesses and the entrepreneurs who are able to leverage automation to enable, the one-on-one sort of scrappy one-on-one conversations are the ones who are going to win. And so, the phrase conversations are the new lead, I couldn't agree with more, simply because if you're not having conversations with people in a one-on-one manner, if you don't have people on your team who are with your prospects, you're going to lose to the people who are willing to put in the extra 15-20% effort, the people who are willing to put in the extra 1 to 2 hours a day and actually have those conversations, interact with their prospects, understand what they need, and then provide them a solution to that need. That's the name of the game. The barrier to entry has raised that much more, which is net a good thing in my opinion. And, if you're not having conversations with your prospects, you need to start thinking of ways that you can make that happen now in a way that adds value to them and in a way that, adds value to your business and that allows you to still maintain some level of scale and leverage, You need to implement that now in your business, in my opinion. And I'm incredibly bullish on these different automation systems and SaaS products that actually enable one-on-one conversations at scale. I think it's fantastic, and I think it's one of the most important things that you can implement in your business right now. That's all I got today. Take it easy.